This is the 2018 Ford F-150 and I'm gonna do a Doug DeMuro style review on this truck, and then I will give you a Fayaz score. So here we have the heart of the beast. Under the hood we have a V6 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine. Now what EcoBoost means is that it is a twin turbo engine. So they have slammed the twin turbo into this V6 engine and it sounds and feels good. Looking at the front of the truck, moving a little lower, we see this huge grille. Now this is fantastic because it allows a lot of airflow into the engine and helps the engine breathe a little bit better. They come in various different designs and styles depending on your trim level, but the FX4 XLT version that we have here has this type of grille. So here we have the headlights of the Ford F-150. Now with the 2018 they changed the style. This one actually meets the front grille, whereas the older ones didn't. So it has a nice huge design that's bright and big, but I don't like it. Now we're here off to the side of the Ford F-150 and I'm going to talk to you guys about what we see here. Now, huge mirrors with an LED light. Now this is really good for your safety. Also, you'll notice what's unique with the Ford F-150s is the dip in the side window over here. So this gives you better view of your side view mirrors as well as anything that is outside. So it is a unique design. It's been there for a very long time. And moving lower to the truck, we have these amazing looking, not so amazing looking running boards. These are factory running boards, step guards if you want to call them. You can change them out to something more decent, or if you're into a lot more off-roading you could just remove them. But these work fantastic for my family, for my kids. My two 4-year-olds just love them. Easy to get in and out of. Now we're at the back of the truck. At the top we have a tonneau cover. I'll show you more about that when I open the tailgate. Yes, we do have the black painted bumpers with the reverse sensors. Moving over to the middle of the door, we have a light that lights up right over here. You have your reverse camera tucked in right underneath the latch. And then you have the F-150 engraved right into the door. Now this is something new for the 2018. For the 2017 and older, you had an F-150 badge that was just off to the side. So this is something new. Also to the corner, you have your EcoBoost badge. Moving lower down to near your license plate, you have a little key lock. When you insert your key and you start turning, this lowers down your spare tire that is tucked right underneath the flatbed. On the other side over here, you have an outlet for your trailer. So you can plug in your electrical connection into here to connect to your trailer. At the bottom here, you have your tailpipe. So your tailpipe comes in chrome. There's a chrome tip on all the tailpipes of all the Ford F-150s, and it comes with that. How cool is that? And right at the back here, you can see we have a towing hitch. Now this can actually tow 13,200 pounds. You can be pulling a boat, you can pull a motorhome, and you're set to go. And now I'll open up the tailgate. Now this is your flatbed. Starting at the top, I was talking about that tonneau cover that I have. This tonneau cover is by Backflip. So installed on tracks, you can easily release and it folds up into 3 pieces. So you can have a quarter open, you can open it to half, and then you can open it up fully. Now, there's some prop sticks that come with this, and with just loosening this up, you can secure your tonneau cover just like that. You have two cup holders on either side, and you have some interior LED lights as well that you can actually turn on from the inside. We also have the bed liner installed. Now this one is by Ford. You can see the emblem right at the end down there, and this helps with protecting your box. So this is everything that is in the flatbed. I'm also going to show you a nifty little thing that the Ford F-150 trucks come with, but not all of them. And that is right over here. You push this little button. It's a stepping guard, and it just doesn't end over there. If I come around this way and we push this little yellow circle, that will pop out. And now you have a handrail. So I'm going to show you how this works. And just like that, with ease, I'm up. So I love this feature. It's amazing. Now, let's move on to the inside. Here we're at the back. This is actually a 5-seater 4-door. Now, as you can see, I have ample legroom. I am sitting at 5'11", and as you can notice, there's a lot of space. The seats at the front are pushed all the way back, not reclined all the way back, but pushed all the way back, and I am sitting super comfortably with enough headroom as well. There's a couple of things I'm going to talk to you guys about. In this model, we do not have an armrest in the middle, but we do have vents at the back over here. Okay, and opening this over here, you have a 12-volt charger. You have an AC 110-volt, 400-watt max outlet, so like a house outlet. So you can plug in Christmas lights, you can plug in any type of charger you have, and you have 2 USB ports. How convenient. And at the top here, you have 2 cup holders. Really well thought out, really amazing. We also have on the sides, both my side and the passenger side, some, I like to call them the holy shit bars. When you feel scared and you want to say holy shit, you grab onto the holy shit bars right over here. And these are fantastic grab handles for any type of getting in, getting out. These seats also fold up. Let me show you. All you have to do is just lift them. And just like that, you have so much more room to put things inside without having to worry about taking out your seats. And there's a little lever right back here, which will allow you to bring them back down. This is a 60/40 type of layout, and I think it's beautiful. Now, we're in the front of the truck. This is by far the best part of the truck that I like. So in here is where you have a lot of features, and I'm going to start off from the top and then move to the bottom. So right at the top here, we have a power switch to open up the back window. So there is a window right at the back, and with just a push of a button, it opens up. Now over here we have a few buttons as well, and the buttons are for your light system. So we have individual light switches for either the left side or right side of your dome lights. You have a button that will on all your dome lights, and then you'll have a button that cancels all your dome lights, and then you have a button that will turn off your lights, so when you open your doors, they will not turn on. We also have a sunglass compartment at the top here with just a little push, and with your visors, you don't have any lights, unfortunately. There are no lights that turn on in here. They're just mirrors for both the passenger side and the driver's side. Moving down to the middle over here, we have a beautiful Ford logo, just to remind you that you are in a Ford vehicle. You have a Dearborn Michigan truck plant sticker on the passenger side, just to remind you that this truck was made in Dearborn, Michigan. Moving to the middle of the console over here, we have a speaker at the top. We have a nice little compartment where you can keep your keys or your shades or whatever else you may have. We have a beautiful screen display with navigation over here. On top of the screen, we have a few buttons, and these buttons are a decline speed reduction, a traction control on and off button, four-way hazard lights. When you have actually stopped at a stoplight, your truck will shut off. And when you release your brake pedal, it will start on again. But if this becomes a pain, you can just switch this button over here and your truck will continue to run. Moving lower down on the console, the middle center console over here, you have your volume, you have your tune dials, and you have your preset dials, you have a media button. And moving lower, this truck still has a CD player, believe it or not. Even with Bluetooth technology and all of that good stuff, we still have an old school CD player built into this device. Moving lower, we have your climate control. So you have your fan, you have your heat, your cold. We also have seat warmers. Even though these are cloth seats, you have seat warmers. Then moving down at the middle bottom of your console here, center console, you have another little cubby where you can hide all sorts of your valuable items. In here, we also have two USB ports. On the side here, we have another charging port. We also have a 110 volt house outlet. So this is fantastic right over here. On this side right over here, we have your 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low drivetrains. We also have a rear diff lock. So because this is an FX4 model, if you pull the switch, you're turning on your diff lock. Moving lower, we have a trailer backup switch. The vehicle will guide you to where your trailer has to go. So I've not played around with this, to be quite honest, but that is what that does. You have your gear shifter right over here, which has your regular options plus a manual option. And to the side of your gear shifter over here, you have drive modes. You have all sorts of drive modes, which I'm going to show you about really soon on the dash. And now we'll move on to the driver's side. So on the driver's side, on your steering wheel, you have your audio controls. Okay, you have your telephone controls because it is Bluetooth. You have your cruise control settings, and you have your menu settings. There are a few little extra options on the driver's side here, so I'm going to quickly talk about that. The first ones are on this side of the driver's side, the left side of the steering wheel. And there are a few buttons and dials over here. So you have your fog light switch, you have your box lights at the back, you have a dimmer for your dash, you have a pedal control. So you can actually bring your foot pedals forward and backwards depending on your height right over here. Your handbrake is actually a switch over here. It's an actual button, if you want to call it, where you can lift and release your handbrake right from here. Right at the bottom, you have your hood release. And on the driver's side, right over here, you have a few extra switches. So you have all your 4 windows, plus your locks, plus you can actually adjust your driver's side and passenger side mirrors. And you have a window lock as well, in case you didn't want your passengers to open up their windows. This truck also comes with power seats for both driver's side and passenger side with lumbar support. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about the whole menu system. We're right now into the display mode. We have the speedometer, and if I hit OK, we'll see the miles per hour. So we have miles per hour and we have kilometers per hour. We also have engine hours, distance till empty. We have transmission temperature, and we have tire pressure as well. And then we get back to the main screen. There's also the trip fuel, which is really nice. It shows you a live display as you drive on the fuel consumption and how hard you're driving or how unhard you're driving the vehicle. You also have a compass. You have your engine on, normal operations, And you have fuel information, kilometers or distance till empty, and all that good stuff. You have your trip. Going back out, we have the towing. And in towing, you have a couple of options. I'm not going to go through all of that. Here's a favorite of mine, which is the off-road options. If I go down in the same option, we can see power distribution, and we're back at this main screen over here. And then you have settings where you can change all sorts of settings. I'm going to get out of this little area over here, and I am going to show you the navigation system. So if we're looking at the navigation system right over here, you'll notice that we have audio, we have the phone, you have your navigation, all right, you have apps, and you have settings. Okay, now let's head off for a drive. Okay, so once I can figure out how to get out of this parking lot, I can give you my full thoughts and review of how this truck is actually handling. But from what I can tell you so far is that the inside of this truck is quiet. Really, really quiet. Okay, and we got a police officer. All right, so we're not going to be messing around too much over here. Braking feels really good. Steering controls feel really nice. I love being up high. Like, compared to just driving a regular car, sedan, even like a minivan, we are a lot higher. I like the fact that we can see everything in front of us and you kind of feel like you're the king of the road. Now this is the vehicle that I see myself driving for years to come. Like, this is the vehicle that I intend to keep because it's a lot of fun. The fun factor is there. Plus it's really practical for work, you know, for carrying stuff. And there's a lot of Fords out there. I'm just passing by another F-150. It's everywhere. They're everywhere. And that tells you one thing, that they're really good vehicles, really good trucks. So it sounds nice. Now, there's no exhaust performance muffler on this truck, but you can hear the turbo, you can hear the V6 engine. I mean, you can only imagine what the V8 would sound like, but it's pretty decent. So I just switched it into four-wheel drive, or four high, with just a turn of a dial. You don't need to have this into neutral or anything like that. I'm gonna switch it back into two high because we are gonna be turning. All right, so we just hit like a cul-de-sac, and so I'm gonna try to check out the radius here. I'm gonna turn my steering all the way. Let's see what this can do. Okay, the radius isn't bad. I would say it's pretty decent for the size of the truck. Pretty decent. Now, I want to also talk about the visibility, and these mirrors really help. They're huge mirrors, and so these are fantastic. Oh, another Ford F-150 that we're just passing by. They also come with these blind spot mirrors that are built into your main mirrors, which is incredible. Very comfortable. Seats are awesome. I'm sitting really comfortably here. And if you guys are wondering how it feels like driving, honestly, I could tell you that it almost feels like I'm driving a minivan. It's super smooth, super comfortable, and at times I almost feel like I forget I have a flatbed behind me. So yeah, you don't realize you're actually driving something with a longer wheelbase. It's really easy to handle and to drive. There you go, just turning my steering wheel with just one hand. Everything is proportioned really well. Like, I can just keep my arm on the door sill right over here, or I can keep my other arm on this armrest over here, and everything has been designed so well. It's really practical. And that is a tour of my 2018 Ford F-150. And now I'm gonna give it a Fayaz score. For styling, it hasn't changed for a very long time. So for styling, I give it a 7 out of 10. For acceleration, this has a lot of power with the EcoBoost. For that, I give it a 9 out of 10. For handling, This truck is a truck, so you cannot expect a performance vehicle. It is a bit heavy, especially for corners and for turns. I give it a 6 out of 10. For fun factor, this truck is a lot of fun, especially on a beautiful summer's day when you can have all your windows down. So for that, I give it a 7 out of 10. For cool factor, this truck can be cool if you have the right mindset. And if you have the right mindset, this truck can be very cool. However, for other drivers, they may or may not like the truck as much as you like it. So chin up and own it. And for that, I give it an 8 out of 10. For a weekend, you know, a lot of people use this truck for work. But if you do not use this truck all for work and you use it for pleasure, it can be a great weekend vehicle. And for that, I give it an 8 out of 10. For features, this truck has a lot of amazing features, and a lot of people do not realize all the features it has, with all the USB ports, with the house outlets that you can stick your toaster in and toast some French toast in the morning. And for that, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. For comfort, this truck is comfortable. The suspension does feel like a truck, so it does not drive like a Cadillac. But if you want a Cadillac, buy a Cadillac. I give it a 9 out of 10. For quality, I'm actually impressed that it's not just all plastic inside. You do have a lot of nice soft materials. Truck as a whole is heavy duty, so for that I give it a 9 out of 10. This truck is super practical for what it is mainly used for work. Plus the fact that it has such a great towing capacity, I give it a 9 out of 10. And that, my friends, is the Fayaz score. Okay, they may or may not like the truck as much as you like it. So chin up and so chin up and own it. God damn it! Just own that truck as you own it. And for that, I give it an 8 out of 10.